This is Hana, lesson study, lesson 10 inside the story here. So let me read it for you, lesson for me and for you too. This is really a wonderful story inside the story. Cry of Kalahari. Waves of heat danced above the burning stands. A tiny black Bushmen strode purposefully eastward across the vast Kalahari Desert, glancing frequently at the small gray cloud in the sky ahead. Sekoba was obeying instructions given to him in a dream, and an angel had directed him to look at instruction given to him in a dream. An angel had instructed him to look for a man named William who would teach him about the true God. Maybe the desert or the few people just survived there are God exists for them. As the wise man once followed the star, so Sekova followed the cloud until it stopped over a village. But when he told the inhabitants of the village about his dream, they mocked and laughed at him. That night, the angel appeared again and told him to continue his eastward journey. After traveling across the desert for nearly a month, Sekoba found Pastor William Moyo, who had been prepared for his coming through a dream. For several weeks, Pastor William taught Sekoba about God. In turn, the Bushman told the marvelous story of God's guidance. As a young man, he had felt a strong impression that he must learn to read and write. So now he was able to read Pastor William's Bible for himself. Several years earlier, when hungry lions were killing many cattle, he felt impressed that a higher power controlled the lions. When he prayed to this power, the lions left the area. When he heard of Christianity and began seeking God in earnest, an angel in a dream had led him to Pastor William. After Sekoba had learned the good news of the gospel, he took Pastor William back with him to tell the rest of his family and prepare them for baptism. And that is how, at the camp meeting in 1948, the first converts among the Bushmen were baptized. The Bushmen are a short race averaging about 5 feet in height, who traditionally wander in small groups, gathering wild fruit and hunting. They are nomadic people who have learned to survive in the harsh desert region of Botswana. Botswana's climate is generally arid, and the Kalahari Desert, which covers the southwestern part of the country, receives less than 9 inches of rain a year. For many years, these Bushmen have you wanna listen to sometimes, like, this is stupid, but as a girl I can talk with toys and animals. But now anyway, I'm for the my background, I'm using this bear. So it's so cute. So The Botswana climate generally and the Kalahari Desert, which covers the southwestern part of the country, receives less than 9 inches of rain a year. For many years, these Bushmen have had contact with Seventh-day Adventists through the dedicated doctors at Kenya Hospital. In the next inside story, Dr. Dr. K. Seligman tells of one encounter. So next one, I still have time. So next story, Cry of Kalahari. The desert sun streamed down mercilessly as the little man crept forward with his bow. From his thin, wrinkled appearance, one might suppose he was in his 70s, but his body was accustomed to the scarcity of food and water, and his scarcity, 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 and his reflexes were lightning fast. Steeped in the accumulated wisdom of his ancestors, he cautiously moved closer to the small herd of grazing buck. When he was close enough, he fitted a poisoned arrow to his bow, aimed carefully, and let the arrow fly. It found its mark, but the buck's hide was tough and the arrow didn't penetrate deeply. The buck looked around, then charged the Bushman, catching him on his terrible horns and tossing him until his intestines hung out of his abdomen. Excuse me. Abdomen now covered with sand and grit. After the buck left, the Bushman staggered to his feet and, clutching the dirt mess to himself, headed for the only help he knew, the Seventh-day Adventist hospital miles away. He was barely conscious when he reached the hospital compound. The horrified staff rushed him to the operating room, marveling at the desperate stamina that had brought him there. The surgeon prayed earnestly as he cleansed the intestines, replaced them in the abdominal cavity, and sutured the gaping wound closed. He knew that only God could heal the Bushman. With careful nursing and much prayer, he eventually recovered and returned to his family, leaving the hospital staff to wonder if he also had learned of God's love during his hospital stay. Several months later, a little man with a horrible scar on his abdomen came to the hospital, bringing a 4-foot chain of beads. Painstakingly handcrafted with primitive tools, as his expression of gratitude to the doctor who had saved his life. Part of this quarter's certain service offering will help to establish a Seventh-day Adventist primary school in Botswana. Please plan to give generously on the 13 Sabbaths on or any time on our secure website giving adventistmission.org. Yeah, the always every 4 months in a year, the end of the quarter, so we just gathered or the every week offering for sent to the purpose to place like Bushmen school. So it's good work for the Bushmen and the other poor men and people like that. Thank you. Love you. Yeah. And the last part, 11, 12, 13 is the last one. This quarter is fourth quarter in a year. It's the last quarter. Thank you. See you then.